Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to start with, something that's near and dear to my heart as an advocate. Something that, I've talked to my friends and family about in various discussions. It's where are all these children, right? So today, as we go down the rabbit hole of the internet, and I'll be coming to you each night, somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock live. So, get your day done, get yourself ready, grab your snacks, get a cold drink or a hot drink, and come on in the room. Let's chat about it. So, I'll be on for a couple hours and, we're just going to go ahead and when you feel like leaving a comment, if you see a comment, if you're watching this on a replay, please leave a comment. Let's keep the conversation going, right? Because awareness is one thing, right, that we have to put to the forefront. Because if we're not talking about it, then how are we going to make a difference, right? Um, I want to say we have to bring these things to light, these issues that we'll be talking about. Some will be funny, I'm a funny character, but a lot of times like my heart, my passion, it lies in advocacy and justice for all. And one thing I cannot stand is injustice, right? And so a lot of times we'll be talking about systemic injustice as well, because that happens. So let's just get right into it. So today for my first story, um, in the internet rabbit hole we go. Over 30,000 children are still missing in the U.S. What is being done to find them, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and just read the screen. You can go ahead and zoom in on your screen if you like, but you can read along with me, but I'll be reading for those who are just listening. The FBI reports that about 460,000 children go missing in the U.S. every year. In the time that it takes to brew a cup of coffee in your Keurig, two more kids are gone. It is as if 7 buses took 400 kids to school every day and came back with empty buses with no explanation. Fortunately, over 90% are found quickly, but more than 30,000 are still missing and have not come home. Picture an audience at a basketball game, then double that, missing. Are we doing enough to find them? And if not, why not? So let's get to some key points of the types of strangers, well, to the point of how kids come up missing. Let me go ahead and mute my phone because that is a distraction and an annoyance. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Um, So the key point today is that children go missing for a lot of different reasons, and bringing them home requires a concentrated effort from law enforcement and citizens alike. But not just law enforcement. I want to throw in there too, like the complaints from CYS, right? Um, people just turning a blind eye, right? What is going on in our communities today that these children are coming up missing? Well, there's a few different ways children come up missing. So let's just review them real quick. We have stranger kidnapping, right? The first thing that comes to mind with missing children is kidnapping by a stranger. And this does account for tens of thousands of cases, and it also includes the unthinkable human trafficking, sex slavery, and murder. And we will be going into each and every one of them throughout this the end of May, because May is the Missing Children's Month. And then also we're going to go right into that into June, right? Because we're going to have to talk about this because this is getting serious. Well, it's been serious, right? So again, the unthinkable: human trafficking, sex slavery, and murder. Although our minds immediately go to the worst case scenarios, thankfully, this accounts for just 27% of the cases. Now, let me see when this article was written because I want, it's very important. Let me get to the copyright down the bottom. I did write it down, but it's slipping my mind for right now. Um, I'll get back to that information and I'll put it in the chat. However, I wanted to put up um, to the chat box, right? It says 27%, and I'm not even sure when this was written because I know that that number must be a little bit higher because of the human and sex trafficking. And as we're getting down into this administration and resources are being cut, the number is going to grow exponentially. Another type of child disappearance is non-custodial parent kidnapping. Well, we've all heard the stories, right? Someone's unfit, the other parent comes and takes them, or the grandmom, or whatever, or somebody's not giving the child back. There's plenty of videos on that. We may get to some when we're deep in the rabbit hole, but for right now, as for the other 73%, this includes cases of kidnapping by a non-custodial parent or a family member, sometimes for nefarious purposes or to inflict suffering on the estranged spouse. And sometimes it's a result of mental illness or substance abuse. And let's talk about that real quick, right? Mental illness and substance abuse. Are parents' mental health and their substance use an issue when we're talking about these kids, right? Are they fit parents, right? Because they may have clouded judgment. However, I want to say, right, you can have mental illness and still be a great parent, but you have to manage your mental illness. And then when we're talking about substance abuse, you, when you are using substances, your judgment is clouded and you are not going to be making the right decisions most of the time. Therefore, parenting is a full-time job and you cannot sincerely give the attention that the child needs if you're out here using substances. Period. Put a 7 in the chat. Put a 7 in the chat, in the comment section. Put a 7 in the comment section if you agree. Put a Put a 6 if you don't. And we'll talk about it. Okay, moving on. Obviously, those cases are often just urgent to solve as a stranger kidnapping, as a parent could be endangering a child. However, sometimes a loving and stable non-custodial parent disagrees with a custody ruling or even preempts custody sharing by disappearing with the child before the decision is made. In some cases, this is to rescue the child from the dangerous situation that the legal system has not been able to handle appropriately or quickly enough. This is still a criminal act, of course, but it is worth noting that in such cases, the child may be quite safe living under a different identity in a foreign country with their new parent. Again, that is against the law, and you should be going through the legal process. And again, if we're talking about systemic justice, getting advocates behind you. Documentation is important. Um, you want to make sure um, that you have your witnesses coming in, and don't worry, because a lot of lawyers um, do payment plans for supporting that legal action or activity. There's a lot of pro bono places out there, and then there's make sure that you're um, getting yourself involved in a support group. And by all means, the more people you have surrounding you, the better your chances are that you're going to, be able to do what's best for the child. Runaways. A third example of missing children cases include runaways up to 18 years old. Even if they're escaping an abusive home situation, these cases are so also urgent to solve, as we don't know whether the child is in a safe place with a friend or supported himself in a job or living with roommates or on the streets with all the other dangers that the streets represent. A homeless teen is in great danger of violent crimes and involvement in drugs and other criminal activity. Again, sex trafficking, human trafficking, rape, drug activity, all that's in the streets. And when you're out there, the world is big and there's a lot of wolves out there, and that the children are unaware of. They're vulnerable at that point, even though they think they're grown. They don't know. Like, the streets is a whole nother element of grown. Okay. They might not be grown for the streets. Another category of a missing child could be unaccompanied migrant children. Another large and growing group of unaccompanied migrant children between 2018 and 2023, there was over 291,000 immigrant children who did not receive proper court notices. This means that not only uh, as a result, they're not properly tracked and followed up in the system, another systemic injustice, right? Um, and are especially vulnerable to exploitation. They can also be deported, what is called in absentia, and promptly removed from the country when located by authorities, even if this would not be their best interest or did not give a fair hearing to their situation. So, for example, a 14-year-old fleeing a forced marriage of an abusive older man may be deported right back to his home without ever hearing the opportunity to make her case, right? And as we know, in this new administration, it's like pack up and go and get out of here swiftly. Again, if you are struggling or you know someone who is an unaccompanied migrant um, child, please get to your justice centers. There is a lot of places and refuge cities across the United States that can help. Um, just you got to search for it, and probably I'll put a website in the chat. Let me make a note. I'll put a website in the chat where you can go for help, or at least the first phone call. Okay. What does law enforcement do about these missing children? Okay. So the first thing that the cops will do, or the police, when a child goes missing, after someone calls 911 immediately. Remember, time is the essence. If they cannot be located within the first 24 hours, the odds of finding them decrease dramatically. The police will want to have recent photos of your child and a description of what they were wearing and any identifying characteristics. In serious and clear abduction cases, the FBI will jump in to help with the child abduction rapid deployment team, who will bring their extensive expertise to help the police and to bring the child home safely. It is so important to put a tracker on your child, right? A lot of children, I guess the age 7 and up, have cell phones. Please put the trackers on the kids' cell phones. However, it's also best to know too that you have recent pictures of your children, right? You don't want to be putting up pictures from last year, last summer, last season, because kids, they grow out of that feature quickly. And a reason why you have to go beyond the cell phone tracker is because one of the first things people do if your child is being abducted is they change their clothes, right? They could drug them, change their clothes, and definitely throw them shoes away, right? So they could put them under a blanket, change their clothes, put a wig on them. You never know the difference, right? And walk right out of a supermarket, walk right out of a movie theater, walk right out of wherever you are, and you won't even know. I know oftentimes when I go shopping, because I'm a shopper, and a lot of times, the kids is in the store running around rampant, okay? Hiding under the clothes displays and stuff and popping out from here to there in an instant. Someone could drug your child, that child, any child, change, change, take them in the bathroom, change their whole look and walk right out the store with them and completely out the store, even out the mall, even in a moment's notice. Please keep an eye on your children. When you're outside with your kids, don't let them run around. Don't let them run around. Keep them right next to you. And if they don't know how to act in the store, then they got to stay home. And if you do too, you stay right home with them and teach them how to come outside. So they also have Amber Alerts, right? Amber Alerts. We all know what these are. They're a way to get the word out quickly, to mobilize the whole population to be on the lookout for a missing kid soon after they disappear. These alerts are issued across communication networks, broadcast over radio, television, cell phones, digital highway signs. Law enforcement personnel and private citizens across the region will keep an eye out. Well, here's the thing. Are we really keeping an eye out when the Amber Alert goes out? I know I do. But a lot of times I'm just sitting in my office and the alarm goes off. I mean, it's not much I could do when I'm at work. But if you are on the highway and you see those Amber Alert signs, please be on the lookout for the vehicle. You can save somebody's life and you can save a family a whole lot of hardship. Amber Alerts have resulted in the recovery of over 1,200 missing children. When you get an alert like this, one way you can help is to share it on your social media page and get the word out to as many people who may have missed it. At home prevention. To keep your child safe from this kind of danger, teach them how to be aware of strangers and to keep a safe distance. Encourage them to run to you immediately and tell you if something doesn't feel right. Tell them what to do if someone tries to take them. Give them a sense of empowerment to do what they're able to do for themselves to keep themselves safe and seek help when they need it, right? Having that open dialogue with your children, right? Those parental safety features, important, important. You don't know what the children are looking at. You should know what the children are looking at when they're on their phones, right? If they're must have, if you must send your kids out with a cell phone during the school day or whatever reason, parents feel like they need to have a phone, they should have limited access to the internet and social media sites. You should be checking their phone regularly. And you should be doing drills, right? Asking them questions. If somebody shows them a body part, right? What would you do? Like you should always be having them, what would you do questions with your child. So that way, in the event that something happens, they feel free to come to you to talk about it. And then also, if you're ready, you don't got to get ready. They are prepared. One thing, I always say to children, if anything comes up and you come out missing, you can't find me, you just go ahead and start screaming rape and fall down on the floor, dead weight. And you wait till somebody comes and gets the help so that they can find me and will know where you are. Do not go off with no strangers. You stay right there. Okay, so let me see. Here it goes. It's also vital to monitor your kids' online activities to make sure that they're not in communication with people who may deceive them. Again, remember, they're not street smart, they're not street grown, they're easy to deceive. Make sure they know not to share their address or any identifying details with strangers. I want to play a story in a few after I finish this article. Um, and it's going to tie up all of this. Local level prevention. Beyond keeping your own kids safe, you could also volunteer with at risk children to help reduce their vulnerability and identify situations that may need intervention by authorities for child protection. You should report any suspicious activity and intervene, right? Step in, don't be scared, right? If you see a child crying and they looking like they don't want to go with somebody, it's okay to say, or what's going on here, and ask the child. Don't ask the adult. Ask the child, who is this person? And if they say they don't know, or my mommy's friend, or some kind of craziness, call the police. Let them figure it out. If necessary, make it your business if it appears someone is trying to lure a child in the car and pull them away. Make it your business. Because a lot of times we walking around here acting like none of this is our business or that ain't my business and turning our head, no, we have to protect our children. There is 30,000 children missing right now, probably more. We done had how many cups of coffee we could have drank since this one started. Said by the time you drink a cup of coffee, two children go missing. No, the time that it takes for you to make a cup of coffee, two children are going missing. We can't afford to not be watching what's going on in our areas, in our surroundings, in our hallways, in the mall. We have to help the children. It's our job. It's our duty as a person in the community, right? It takes a tribe. National level prevention. To make a difference at a national level, support child safety organizations by donating and volunteering to the groups, such as National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and lobby for your government to continue to increase programs that fund law enforcement and the FBI, which plays an absolute crucial role in recovering lost children. The FBI is able to coordinate and keep track of evidence and suspects across state lines in ways that many may be invisible to our local enforcements. They have a vast reservoir of experience and proven methodologies that has taken decades to develop. Programs that support at-risk children and their families also need continued and increased funding to decrease the number of children who go missing. Let's make sure that this is a budget cutting era and that we really don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So where are all these people, where are all these children going missing? Well, all around the world, of course. So let's just go ahead into this one real quick, and we're just going to do the statistics by country in 2025. So as we see here, the United States and Canada, I'm sorry, not Canada. This is another United States region. 16,390 from the northern tip on the other side of Canada, which is one of our territories. 16,390 as of since not 2025 in the United States. Um, as you can see, these other countries, they're in the yellow, not as many. 18, Algeria, Italy, none reported. Slovakia, 58. I believe that these numbers could be even higher because a lot of times people aren't even reporting when the children go missing because they're impoverished countries and some of them are, selling them off to, uh, when they're young, arranged marriages and things of that nature. So we really can't but that's just another exploitation. We'll do a little number on that too. Childhood marriages, those arranged ones. As we can see, the numbers, Mexico none, United Kingdom. So this one has some trafficked numbers on this statistic. Let's see for United States. Did I pass it? Let's see. They don't have any traffic. Oh, yeah, they do. They have Bangladesh, Turkey, Zambia, Dominican Republic, DR Congo, Tonga, Senegal, Fiji, Marshall Islands. That makes me think too, when we're on these vacations, uh, you know, like I just got off a cruise, right? I love to take a cruise. Put a number Put a number 7 in the chat if you love to cruise, right? I love to cruise, and I can tell you the kids, or not even just cruising, like even at resorts and stuff, it gets to be a certain time of the day or evening, I should say, and um, the kids are running crazy. The parents are drinking or doing whatever it is that they're doing, whatever activity they're doing. And the kids are running around in packs. Well, thank God they're running around in packs, right? Because I prefer them to, never be alone. But kids are going to be kids and they're going to wander off. And if the parents and no one's in charge of these children running loose on these resorts at night, anything bad could happen. Yeah, I don't know about so much of a cruise ship, but certainly things can happen from one time to another. Especially when we're getting off on the ports, right? and the kids, everybody's happy be on land and everybody's running and boopy boop. And that's a perfect opportunity to snatch a child. Okay. So let's just focus on the United States. Now, Maryland, and this is just for 2025. New Jersey's reporting 419 so far. Pennsylvania, 520. New York, 1,049 children missing. We're at the halfway mark of the year. These children are missing. Pennsylvania, 520. Maryland, 234. Virginia, 352. West Virginia, 142. Ohio, 428. And that's just the surrounding areas of Pennsylvania. Go a little bit, let's go middle mid state. Kansas, 129. Nebraska, 88. Iowa, 111. Wisconsin, 223. Illinois, 461. Just as much as Pennsylvania. Missouri, 460. Arkansas, 357. Oklahoma, 684. Colorado, 375. Texas, 2,749 missing children in Texas. What is going on there? Now, I know Texas is a big state, but 2,749 this year alone. Let's go look at another big number. California, 3,619 children missing. Missing. Why are we not shining the light on this? Who is accountable for this? Why are these children so vulnerable? Florida, 2,429. Now, I don't know about you, but the southern border, the east, mid coast, west coast, if you live in any area, you have to watch these children. Why are we not watching these children? What is going on? According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons database, which was founded in the United States Department of Justice, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. Nationwide, there's roughly 6.5 missing persons for every 100,000 persons. Luckily, the vast majority of missing people cases are quickly resolved. For example, in 2021, 521,705 Missing persons cases were reported, and this is adults, seniors, everybody. More than 485,000, which were resolved within a year. The number of missing person cases are steadily declining since 1997, when nearly a million people was reported missing. A million people missing right off the face of the earth. In the past few decades, communication has made it easier to keep in touch and track people, allowing missing people reports to fall for over 40%. Still, more than 20,000 missing persons cases and 14,000 identified bodies still remain open. 14,000 unidentified bodies. Just sit on that for a second. 14,000 bodies laying in morgues all around the United States and cemeteries, Potter's Fields, unidentified. Where are their loved ones? Who was their name? Why is nobody looking for them? California has the largest number of missing persons at 3,010. However, California's rate of missing person is a roughly average at 7.6 missing for every 100,000. The highest rate of missing persons by far in a sparsely populated area is Alaska, with 164 missing people per 100,000 population. So I could just imagine, I could just imagine living in Alaska. I could just imagine. I don't even want to come up missing in Alaska. I won't come up missing nowhere, honestly, but it's just a shame. 1 second, people. Let me just do this. You know, so the state with the lowest amount of people missing is Massachusetts, where they have about two people missing per every 100,000 persons. Rhode Island, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, India, Maryland, Minnesota, South Dakota, Ohio, Virginia, and New Hampshire all have missing persons below about 3.5 per 100,000 per person. Tiny Rhode Island has the smallest number of missing persons at 29. Other states with less than 100 missing persons include South Dakota, North Dakota, Delaware, which has 45, New Hampshire, 48, Wyoming, 51, Vermont, 61, DC, 62, and Nebraska, 84. I want to say something too about systemic change. When we're talking about missing people too, a lot of times, you know, um, they they get knocked off as runaways, right? And once they're deemed runaway, like the cops don't really, be on a full point. You know how they're doing that manhunt now for these prisoners that escape. You know, the FBI doing it, the boot. They like if 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 your child is deemed as a runaway, I would say systemically you need to be out there yourself because the police is just not going to be doing all that for your child. And that's the God's honest truth. You know, it's up to the community to help you find that missing child. That's just the facts. So I went to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and this is a great place to check and see, keep an update, peruse it, put it on your cell phone, check it out, monthly. I know I certainly do because I get around a lot and I just, so many kids. Of course, I'm not going to remember a face, but maybe I might one day. Who knows? At least I'm coming here, at least once a month, to check in, see how many people was missing in the area because we had to, there should be some kind of red alert. It should be a red alert if some a child is, missing in the area. Like everybody needs to know, right? They need to put out an Amber Alert every time a child goes missing. Amber Alerts are for children that are being abducted, right? That have been abducted. Be on the lookout for this, that, the third, right? But for the missing kids, there needs to be an Amber Alert too. Like we need to be all getting our cell phone, and just seeing let's look at right here. Janae Bay Hardy, missing, Philadelphia. And I'm going to do this little area right here. I just did this area of the Philadelphia area because there's a lot of kids missing in the Philadelphia area as well. And I feel like they're not even getting that, like it's not even making the news how many kids is missing. Like I think I read like in January, don't quote me on the number, but I was appalled when I saw like 30 kids missing in December, Christmas, the holidays, just missing all around the same area. Okay, let's just look at let's look at a few up close and personal. This is me, Janae Bay Hardy, missing from Philadelphia. Now, what I don't like about this one is this site particularly. I love missing and exploited, right? I love the work that they do, but I'm the kind of person like I need more information. I want to know where you last seen them. What did they have on when they were last seen? And this site doesn't give you that information. They give you the date they came out missing, April 20th, 2025, Philadelphia. She's 16 years old now, female, in a picture. We have Faith Gardner from the Williamsport area, 17, missing since May 8th. Uh-oh. Think I'm doing too much with my computer. Okay, we lost some visual. We lost our visual, but it's okay. These children are missing. What can we do? What can we do to help these children? What can we do to help these children? We have to be more mindful. We have to be more mindful. We have Tamia, missing since January 13th, 2025, Philadelphia. Alexander Flores, missing from York, Pennsylvania. Callie Enlow, Philadelphia. Grove City, Patricia Silbo. She's been missing since 1973. Kayla Sample, Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Mireya Brown, Allentown, age 17. Rashawn Thomas, missing since 5/12/2025, age 17. Micaiah Myers, missing since May 1st, 2025, 17. And this is since April. And that's all that's on this page. But we know that there's a lot more, right? We know that there's a lot more. And this is just what's been reported to the turnpike, right? And we're going to get to this Pennsylvania turnpike, right? Because there is a lot of sex trafficking, human trafficking, and child, you know, abductions happening on the Pennsylvania turnpike. Another site, the Pennsylvania Missing and Nationwide Missing, right? And this is on Facebook, right? We're always on Facebook. We are always, most people are always on Facebook. Download this, add this to your notification page. So when these kids come up missing, they go right to your phone. No extra steps, come right up. We have Brooks Mercedes. She said, "Hi, I'm new to this group. I recently joined because my daughter is missing." Alexis Brooks Wade, daughter missing. So, and the good thing is too, with this page, um, it'll show everybody who's missing. So elderly, um, everybody's on here. This one's from Hagerstown, Maryland. Let's bring home Angelina Rodriguez Prowitt, missing since May 20th, 2025, from the Wilkes-Barre area, age 16, height unknown, weight unknown. Why? Why is it unknown? Who is the parents? Who is the caregivers? Who is responsible for this young lady? She's 16 years old. And they don't know how tall she is, how much she weighs. Angelina has been missing since May 20th, 2025, from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. There is very little information available. Please contact law enforcement agency. Why is there no information? Why is it so little information about her? Where is her loved ones? Where are her neighbors? What about the school? Who's responsible for these homeschool children? Attendance. Help us find our friend. Please help us find our dear friend Lyric Bowser. She's been missing since May 14th, and we're deeply concerned for her safety. Her last known location was Bear Run Campground in Portersville. Bear Run Campground. That is another place where kids go missing. Campgrounds. Everybody's having fun. We're all on the trail. We're making s'mores. They're swimming, fishing. Some campgrounds have mini golf, the whole works. It's so easy. to get distracted. And the children over here. I was talking to my friend the other day. I was like, when people go to public places and they got all these children with them, there is no way that they could keep an eye on all the kids all the time. You out there with 3 and 4 kids and 5 kids, sometimes two is too many. Two is manageable, but just in the blink of eye, that one could just run off too. Authorities have been contacted, but we need your help spreading the word on staying vigilant. Lyric, if you know who Lyric is, if you know where Lyric's at, please call her people. So they have a message for Lyric. If you see this, please know that we love you and we just want to know you are safe. You are not alone. We are here for you no matter what. Heart. The update from 522 on this case. I just wanted to give an update and answer some questions I've been receiving. A lot of the information I received is from Lyric's mom, and I'm just relaying most of what information from her. We really do not have much else to go off of at this time. She has deactivated all her socials and had her phone shut off. The police were involved at one point, but are not helping any further. What I'm telling you. They act like they're involved and then they fall off. The police were involved at one point but are not helping any further as they are considering her as a voluntary disappearance. In other words, runaway. That being said, there are people that she is in regular contact with that have not heard from her in a while, and other very concerning things are going on. You see? We had to get into these children's heads and we have to let them know the severity, right? We have to make these kids feel welcome at home and safe. Or we have to provide a place where they feel welcome and safe so they're not running off into the streets and getting in the hands of who knows who, doing who knows what. Jesse Barber's missing, Dwayne Scott's missing. And we'll do a missing adult one soon, but I just want to focus on the kids today. Here we have another one. This is May 17th. Someone posted. Um, and this is out of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Melissa Sutton. Um, help bring my daughter home. She's missing and last seen in the Philadelphia area. Somebody must have seen her somewhere. Her name is Honesty, and she's 15 years old. These first 48 hours are crucial in bringing her home. So it's been about over 10 days. Please share missing child from Cumberland County. And this is another picture of Honesty. Let's bring home Genesis Cruz Luna. She's been missing since May 14th, 2025 from Philadelphia. 14 years old. She's 4 feet and weighs 116 pounds. She was last seen May 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. on the 600 block of Mayfair Street in Philadelphia, PA. So she was out 7 o'clock at night, the 600 block of Mayfair Street and six. Okay, let's see if we can Bring that up. 600 block of Mayfair Street, Philadelphia. See what that looks like. See the area. Pretty populated. She might have been coming and going from a neighbor's house or somewhere. A lot of houses. It's the back alley. Get back out on the street. Looks like a whole neighborhood. What's out here? Laundry. Is this the right street? Let's see in Biggerman. Let's see. That's correct. Oh yeah, that was the right area. This is another coming way. Oh yeah, Mayfair Street. This is Biggerman. Well, this is the area she was last seen. There's a field back here. Looks like a park. She probably was hanging around this park. But the thing is, there's a lot of houses here. You know, a lot of people have webcams and things like that. You know, ring, ring doorbells and stuff. In this day and age, you think you would. What's down this way? Businesses, Chinese food, furniture store, coffee shop. But the amount of houses here, and we gotta look out for these pedophiles. We gotta look out these pedophiles. Like Google your area. Google your area. You'll be surprised how many people are pedophiles in your area. One more. Alicia Robbins, missing since May 14, 2025, Philadelphia. She's 5'8", 130 pounds. Missing, uh, she's 17 years old. She was last seen May 14th at 7 a.m. in the morning at the 4100 block of L Street. Let's do that one. 4100 L Street. Another neighborhood. Seven o'clock in the morning. Maybe going to school. It looks like a lot of traffic. But even look at this man looking all suspect. It could happen just like that. A blink of an eye. Here comes something it don't even gotta look suspicious. Any car is a getaway car. Take your baby right on off, right out of your whole life. That's my girl Mocha.
Now, welcome to the vibe. It's where the bells unite. Bringing
Shout out to my girl Mocha Unfiltered. If you want to hear some crazy, subscribe to Mocha Unfiltered. I love that show. Okay. And we'll do one more. Well, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going because these kids is missing. Here's another one. This is Crime Blotter, Philadelphia Police Department, because there is a lot of kids missing from the Philadelphia area. And where are these children? Why are they not talking about it? Why is it not on the news every night with these kids' pictures up on the news? Why is there not a segment at 6:05 so you can see who's missing in the Philadelphia area every day? This one. The Philadelphia Police Department is seeking public's help in locating the missing juvenile, Alexa Sanders. This 14-year-old female was last seen on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, at 3 p.m. in the 5900 block of North Carmack Street. Carmack, Samac. She looked like she's like at a football game or some sort. She's 5'6" tall, weighs 220 pounds, heavy build, light brown complexion, brown hair, brown eyes. She likes to frequent an area of Broad Street and Olney Avenue and the Fern Rock Transportation Center. Why? Why is she allowed to hang out at the transportation center? She's 14 years old. She's 14 years old, hanging down there at Broadway. Where is her peoples at? Where is her people? It's just saddening. It's just so saddening. The 35th district. And I can tell you there's a lot of missing kids from the 35th district too. I don't know what part of Philadelphia that is, but that street comes up all the time. All the time. Let's look. 20, 25th. The Philadelphia police is seeking help for locating um Anaya. She's 23. She looks young for 23. Another missing juvenile, Ethan, second district. Now, I'll go all the way down here on page 6. Well, I'm gonna keep on going because there was a lot from 35th Street and the second district. I don't know where those districts are in Philadelphia, but it is a lot. Here goes another one, 35th district, Chad Kitchen. Last seen April. In the 5500 block of Langdon Street. 17 years old, 6 feet, 210 pounds. Last seen 2:30 in the afternoon. Like it's in the afternoon, like these kids is just like walking to school. School time. Maybe they supposed to be in school, just getting out of school. Who is taking these children? 12th, 14th district, 19th. This one went missing. This is same district right here, 19 and 19. He's 15, she's 13. Let's see how far apart they were. He went missing April 22nd at 8 p.m. on Haverford Avenue, and she, 13, went missing April 11th at 6 p.m. on Filbert Street, 5700 block of Filbert. I'll bet you they're not even far apart. Let's see if we find another 19th. I wish they had them too, like from the date that they go missing, to kind of try to make like a bulletin of all the missing the people in the same area. Look at him, he's 27. He looks young too. 12, 17. Another one from the 35th district, Mackay, 35th district, April 20th, 9 a.m. North 18th Street, 14 years old, 9 o'clock in the morning. 35th district, another one. What happened here? 400 block of Ruscombe Street, 6:38 in the evening. 14 years old. Another one for he's 39. There's 207 pages. 207 pages. April. April, April. Where, who is taking all these children? Where are they? Where are these children? Mackenzie Dykes, 3rd District, 35th District, another one, 35th District, missing, 15 years old. What time she go missing? She got her uniform on this picture, March 31st, 9 p.m., North Marvine Street, 35th District, again, 5'4", 130 pounds, 15-year-old girl. It's a Sunday, 1 a.m. Why is she out? 1 a.m. Saturday night. Doing what? Where her people's at? I tell you, the law of the chancleta is what needs to happen for a lot of people. Another one, 35th District. Justin. He's 17, 5'3", 127 pounds. Thin build, light skin. Wearing his ACG sneakers. Gray sweatpants and a hooded sweatshirt. And I could tell you another thing, okay? A lot of them be wearing their hoodies and their sweatpants. That's easy to take off. 500 block of Sedan Avenue. I'm gonna have to figure out like what's the 35th district because that is like really weighing on me. Here's a older man too from the 35th district missing. Well, he's found. They found him. They found him. That's good. What is going on in the 35th district? Another one. 35th district. This 13-year-old female, Aaliyah Kufi. Aaliyah, 13 years old female, last seen on a Wednesday at 4 in the afternoon in 5900 block of North 20th Street. Last seen wearing a black Muslim garb with a yellow bottom portion. That's, if your child's used to being garbed up, nobody don't really know what they look at without their garb. Or they could just go ahead and throw a garb on them. You never know. And your child walk right past you. I know for a fact that there was children missing left and right during the pandemic. Well, they all had on masks. You didn't know who was who. I know I certainly didn't. I don't know how hard it would have been to find a child in a crowd of people and everybody got on masks. Oh, that I can't even imagine. Another one missing from the 30, but they sent her back home. Another kid missing in the 35th district, Jamira Lucas, on a Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, the 20th 100 block of West Champost Avenue. I'm going to see how far apart all these kids have been missing on a map. So, as you know, I'm doing my, just working with technology and everything. And I'm going to see if I can pull up an interactive map. And I'm going to start checking off all these district by district just to see, like, here's another one, 35th District, Yaleen Bird from the 35th District. What is going on with the community of the 35th District? 5'6", 112, 10 pounds. Last seen wearing gray hooded sweatpants and sweatshirt and black sweatpants, black and white Nike sneakers. Last seen 2 p.m. Like they're just taking them off the street right in the broad daylight, just going missing in the middle of the day. 35th. They found him and put him back. Like, look, this is the third mental health or senior, I could tell, missing in the 35th district, and then they bring them back though. They bring them back. They find them. Another one missing in the 35th district. Taraji Fuller. She lives in the 1500 block of Rosalind Street. She's 5'5" and weighs 125 pounds. She's last seen on Chestnut Street. No time. She's 14. She's walking around wearing a black hijab, navy blue North Face hoodie, black dress, and fur boots. Gone. Missing. And this is the Philadelphia Police Department's blotter. This is the page I'll be on right here. The crime blotter. What is going on with the children? It just hurts my heart, And where this should be on the news, right? Because I went to a few places and they didn't have as many as the crime blotter has. And I'm telling you, I've been on this since I want to say last October, November. And I was just like, wow, that's a lot of kids missing in 1 month, one city, Philadelphia area. And it's not on the news every night. Like, what's going on? Again, I'm going to do my interactive map. We're not going to let this go. I'm going to be a dog with a bone with this one because where is the advocacy at for these children? What is their home life? What's going on? What is the cops doing? What is the police doing? What resources are available to the runaways, the so-called runaways? Are they bridging them back to their homes? What's the situation? Are they finding them? Because they're missing. Where did they go? Who's taking them? How are they getting there? That's a lot of kids from one district in a 6-month period. How come they didn't know what was going on in City Hall? Why ain't the news stations down in the neighborhoods that they come missing? What's going on with the community centers there? Is there a task force for these missing children? Are they doing fundraisers for the family? Like, what is going on? There's so much help that needs to be done right there, right there. Has the governor been there? What's the mayor saying about it? I couldn't find none of them reports. I barely could find this one with the up to date and the time and what they was wearing when they went missing. Why is there not more? I can't even believe the number in Illinois, Texas, California. What is being done for these children? How can we make it right? What do we have to do? What more can be done? Who is going to be the voices of advocacy if it's not all of us? If you like this content, please hit the like button, subscribe to my page. We're going to be at this every night, faithful. If you can't watch it live, watch it the next day, but watch it. Make sure you hit your notification bell so that you know when I post. And because this is a project of mine, a technology project, I'm going to be on here every night talking about this, that, and the third. But we're going to continue to talk about the children. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the places such as the campgrounds, the airports, the supermarkets, the malls, the bowling alleys, all the public places, the swimming pools. Summer's coming. We got to be aware. We have to be on point. We got to go back to the time of putting our porch lights on so we can see. If you don't got a camera, at least put your porch light on. Help somebody save their child. We're too busy creeping in the night and minding our head deep in our phones. Well, if our face is gonna be in our phones all night, at least have a camera. At least be on these websites. Let's make a difference out here. Let's get some of these babies back home, or let's see who's responsible for this. Who's walking around with the money trying to lure these kids away with the sneakers and stuff? Let's teach our children that stuff is not that important. Let's make sure these houses got food. Let's make sure these parents and caregivers is doing what they're supposed to be doing for these kids so that they know how tall they are and how much they weigh and what they had on when they was last seen and where was they going and what time was they supposed to get back. And when they wasn't back, who shall we call? Let's put our foot down. Let's be on the systemic tip of it all. If we're giving out the information to CYS, if we're telling the police that these kids is missing, well, like somebody got to do more because the kids is falling in the cracks and we can't seem to find them. Is there a drug trafficking ring responsible for taking these children? Them children were almost all light. I'm talking about weight. Easy to just throw in a car. Hard to fight off some people snatching you up. Is drugs related to the situation? Is mental health involved? Do these children have mental health issues? Like, what is going on? Who is here to take the backstory of these children? Tomorrow I'm going to reach out to a couple of the people from the Facebook page and just try to get like some inside story about what is going on. What's going on? And maybe I could get them on the show tomorrow or, schedule a day that we can do an interview, right? A Zoom with these people who have missing children and if there's connection. So let's make that happen. So if you want to see that happen, put a 7 in the chat. Just number 7 if you want me to interview some of the family members of the missing people from Facebook. Get them on a Zoom. Let's hear their side of the story. Because I have questions because, is it the parenting? What's going on? Not just the 35th district, but let's just do Philadelphia. Let's do this area altogether. Let's just see what's going on. And then we're going to start diving into some systemic stuff, like what is going on with CYS and these police stations and the government officials that are supposed to be working for us and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And what about these resources? Are the resources being handled properly? We'll see. More to come. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit your notification bell. This is Advocacy with Tanya, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a